good evening, everyone. As you all know, we are here to talk about how to move from no sponsorship or care sponsorship to self sponsorship as one of the routes towards settlement in the UK, basically. So, one thing I need you guys to do for me, I know we are 84 right now on the call, but I know we can be way more than this. We had more people than this register for this call. Let's share this link. Let's share this link with as many people, communities, groups, that we are they're definitely going to benefit from it, and it's completely free. So I see no reason why they shouldn't be here. So while we are doing that as well, let's introduce ourselves in the chat box, our names, the city we are joining from, and whether or not you're an RQI alumni and what you do currently. So we would like to know that in the chat box. So usually this session are sessions that we have, to support our alumni every month, so we bring different speakers or even different alumni as well to come back to share with us, how it's going in the job market, sometimes how to get on the property ladder, sometimes, like today now we're talking about self-sponsorship. We've talked about global talents in the past. We've talked about job application strategies. But this time around, we decided to make this, open to as many people as possible and not limit it, to just alumni. And I think this is something we are going to do going forward, right? To make as many more people benefit, right, from these sessions that we hold, and to make more people experience RQI careers as well. So I've got Sandra Shireni in Northampton. Good to have you here. Falawi, you're from Northampton RQI students. Don Henry, BA Support Officer for RQI Digital Solutions. I think that's enough intro. Please keep dropping your intro. I'll read them. How many of us here are business owners? I want to know how many of us here have businesses. Fantastic. So let's go on very quickly because we have a lot to cover today. We still have our guest who is waiting. So I know most of you have introduced yourself. I'm just going to do a quick intro of myself as well. My name is Rukayat Alabi, CEO of RQY Careers, also known as Rookie. I'm a multi-award winning entrepreneur and I'm a career coach as well as a business coach. And I'm the CEO of RQY Group, a range of companies from career consulting to EdTech to coaching to property and so on and so forth. I've won quite a number of awards, based on the impact of the work we are doing here in RQI Group, from CEO of the Year to EdTech CEO of the Year to Black British Business Awards finalist, Black Achievement Awards finalist, and so on and so forth. I'm also the founder of Limitless Without Borders, a community of interest. No, is it CIC? Community of What's CIC again? Community of interest. Is that the well? I can't remember right now, but yes, Limitless Without Borders CIC. And yeah, an events, platform that brings together community interest company. I know I was right. It's just that it started sounding funny on my tongue, but yeah. And yeah, I've been featured in Forbes, The Voice, Arise TV, Channels TV, and so on and so forth. And a little bit about RQI Group. From RQI Careers, which is a multi-award winning edtech company where we help people gain practical work experience to transition into tech or to add tech to what they already have. To Apply Body, a job application as a service business where we help people apply to jobs. To our podcast Limitless and Thriving, to our annual events Limitless Without Borders, and to our business community RQY Business Up, and our IT solutions company RQY Digital Solutions. We are based in Canary Wharf. Within one of the offices within this building you can see here in London. And our services include, training services where we help people gain practical work experience to transition to tech, from data analysis and business intelligence to project management and business analysis, Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint, product management, digital marketing, compliance, KYC, AML. We also have standalone services, from CV optimization to career advisory to interview preparation, LinkedIn optimization, professional portfolio, and business coaching. So, on our coaching program, we are currently running a special discounts, this week because it's salary week that brings each of these courses down to £450. And our Excel and PowerPoint training as well is, currently on offer for 50,000 naira and £50 respectively. All you need to do is to use this code. So if you've been considering, getting into tech or adding tech to what you already have for so many reasons, which is one of the reasons why we are here today. UK settlements, is requiring like, a an arm and a leg right now. They're saying you need to be in high earning roles. They're saying we need this. They're saying we need that. So there's so many reasons why we should be considering adding tech to what we already have to actually position ourselves for those high income, roles. And RKY Careers is your best bet on this journey. Like I said, this session is actually an alumni catch up. So for those of you that are external and you're wondering, oh, this is what we usually do in our alumni catch up, every month end, right? So what we do is, catch up on what we've done in the months, and we are quite an eventful month as well, right? From being featured in the news to being nominated for award. We also celebrated our 4 years anniversary earlier in the year. And yeah, that's just a little bit about the so about that with regards to the recap. For Q1 success stories as well, we recorded quite a number of success stories from people landing performance analyst role with business sponsorship to data analysis role to change management experts to revenue data analyst to information compliance to project manager and so on. So we're saying this just to encourage us, to let us know that, even though the job market might be, stiff, people are getting jobs. And, we are not limited to just trying to get jobs. That's why we're going to be talking about self-sponsorship as well today. Now, just a little bit, 5 more minutes of your time that I will take to talk about our annual event, which is Limitless Without Borders, one of which will be happening on the 27th of June, exactly 2 months from now. So this is your special invite. If you are actually looking to move to the next level, if you are looking to move to the next level, either in your career, your business, as a creator or in your wealth building journey. This event has happened 4 times, so far. I mean, this is the fourth one and it's happening in 2 cities this time around. It's also happening in Lagos. And yeah, so we have a lot of things to learn. We'll be having conversations around how to get to director level, how to get to partnership level, VP level in our career, how to get sponsorship. We have partners that endorsing bodies for innovator visa as well that will be present, and also for the business side, how to raise funding. I'm sure a lot of business owners here, they want to know, how do I raise funding? So we have one of us, Lazo, who is an immigrant who has raised over £34 million in this UK, that would also be on the business panel to tell us how did he do it. And his business also lends money to other smaller businesses, right? There's a lot to learn, and that's just one. We have so many speakers lined up specially to unlock the next level for us. Then talking about the creator economy, how to digitize your skill sets, how to monetize your skill sets, how to monetize your followership, how to build digital products, basically, and then the wealth building, we are bringing people to talk about how to invest in stocks and shares from as little as, whatever it is you're earning right now, to how to invest in property and so much more. So RKY Careers or RKY Community is more than just a training community, right? We are like an ecosystem that supports you across, every area of your life. So these are pictures from the last year's edition. We had someone win our £5,000 business pitch. We had We had a lot. We had award winners. We had so much one. That's also going to be replicated this year as well. There's still 5,000 on the table to be won this year. And there are opportunities for exhibition, for you to exhibit your business and showcase ourselves. Over 1,000 attendees that will be present. Here are some of our confirmed speakers for 2026. And here are some of our award nominees as well. So you do not have any reason not to be in that room. There are so many things that are unlocked, outside of, phone calls and all of that. You need to be in the room. The link to get your tickets, there's a special discount currently ongoing. The link to get your ticket has been dropped. Even the speaker for today has never missed any version of LWB, and I'm sure he will share some of the benefits of also being part of the RQY community with us as we proceed. So please, don't sit on things. Information is key. A lot of people will say, a lot of people that are in position today in this space, they'll tell you everything is relationship, based on relationship. They are looking for sponsorship, they tell you it's based on relationship. They are looking for this based on relationship. And they are not like, this relationship, people will tell you it's people they went to school, primary school with, that unlocked the door for them. People they went to uni with, people that you went to uni with or primary school with, where are they? Are you with them right now? And because they are not, right, you probably need to be intentional about how you build your own relationship and how you start your journey, right? And I will stop it at this point, and I'm sure we'll have opportunity to talk about it, a little bit more. So so we also have a business community as well, where we help early stage founders to start their business successfully. So if you are taken out of this meeting that we have today now, that okay, you can start your business but you don't know where to start from, we are here to support you as well. So this session will be recorded, and the recording will be made available to you via the link you used in joining. So if you did not register, you probably want to register so that you can get the link to the recording. So that's more about the RQY Business Up community, where we actually coach you on how to build a successful and sustainable 7-figure business here in the UK. The first cohort of our coaching program actually pays £750 to be in the live class, where I personally took them right on. Basically, I've not only built one business, but several businesses here in the UK. But this time around, we are no longer doing live classes. All the classes are now recorded, but we now bring different speakers across the business, across the different business pain points, really, to guide us on this journey from PR to, to even the settlements. We have partners as well that help with innovator visa and all of those kind of stuff. So the founding member is £100 per year. And I don't think that's too much for people to commit to. If you're interested in joining the business community, we are here for you. So now to the best part of today, which I've actually been counting down to as well, is to introduce you to our speaker. Our speaker is actually someone that I've actually I've benefited as well from the skill set that eventually got him this self-sponsorship. I'm sure if you guys saw my picture at the beginning, you'll see the logo there. There's no picture I take. Let's mute ourselves, so please, so that we don't have to start over again. I'm sure if you guys see all my pictures in this UK, you see this logo there. That's to let you know that, I'm not just bringing a stranger, I'm bringing someone that is my personal person to come and, unlock the secrets, right, to us. So, so Illusions, I think his name is Ayodeji. Ayodeji is a UK-based photographer, videographer, and media consultant with over a decade of experience across multiple disciplines. He's a creative director of Illusions Media Limited, a creative brand known for delivering high-quality visual storytelling in weddings, portraits, corporate branding, and live events coverage. Before I bring him on, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you here, please, if you are still raising your hand, please put it down. Please put that hand down. I want to ask another question that I would need a hand up. How many of you here are photographers? Please put your hand down if you're not a photographer. How many of you here are videographers or photographers or work in the creative space? Or in fact, how many of you have a skill that you can use to start a business? Either vocational skill, mental skill, How many of you have a skill? Or how many of you, Okay, so I think I can see that the number is growing. I can see the number is growing. Right. So how many of you here as well? If you are on care visa sponsorship, that one, let's use comment section. Comment care in the comment section. I want to know how many people this our session today is going, because I want to know the kind of question. I didn't plan the questions I want to ask you. I want to be led by the spirits. How many of you here are under care sponsorship and you feel stuck in that sponsorship and you're thinking of the way out? Let's drop care there. Then if you don't even now have care sponsorship, you don't have any sponsorship at all, but you need a way out as well, either now or very soon. Comments no sponsorship yet in the comment section, or comments, basically. So I think we have the right audience here, and fantastic. I can hear all the notification, pum pum. So I think we have a lot of care people in the house. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So okay, I just want to see no sponsorship. I can see people too. There are people that don't have sponsorship, and at the same time, I see that we have quite a very good number of people who are even photographers. Meaning, you can see yourself. You can see yourself in illusions, right? Or you can see illusions in yourself. I don't know how to say that, but you get what I mean. Meaning that you're also looking for an opportunity to use your skill sets, right, to open the pathway for your next journey. Right. Waiting for COS, visa expired. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good to know that. It's just to know the right questions, to ask him. That's why I'm, asking. I can see quite a lot of us are under the care sponsorship. Well, I'm sure, that our speaker for today has a lot to share with us on all of that. So yes, let's get started. Mr. Illusions, as I used to call you, Illusions.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Thank you for, honoring our invite. Thank you for, it's
It's
good
always
to
a
have you on
pleasure.
the other. It's good to
It's
have
always
you
a
on the other
pleasure.
side as a speaker today, right? So
Always a
tell us a
pleasure.
little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and probably how when you moved to the UK, and basically just a little bit about yourself.
So, my name is Adeji Molade, and I studied mass communication from this University, Ibadan. And after school, I practiced photography in Ibadan for a while before I moved to Lagos to continue photography. And from there, I moved to the UK as a student, Bournemouth University in Bournemouth, and I studied digital marketing, digital communications. That's 2021 to 2022. And while I was student too, I was doing my bits of photography. So from there, I got my first sponsorship from Care, which was a no-show, no work. We're just trying to survive on it until the company lost their sponsorship license. Then, luckily for me, I got another one, which was where I worked for 2 years before I moved to the photography sponsorship that I'm on now. That's my
Thank you.
journey in a nutshell.
Thank you so much. You did not tell them you're a celebrity photographer.
You are my
That
celebrity.
that's why I
Everybody's
used
my
to call him like
celebrity.
every celebrity that comes to the UK. But it's very important. I'll be picking up my own lessons from his story, because it's always very important that whatever it is we find ourselves doing, we do it excellently well, such that we're able to position ourselves. Because he's my own personal photographer. I'm sure some of you that know, right? And I've referred him to as many people as possible. Even on my events, he's the one that covers it, even personal business events. So I've actually watched this. I know when he was stuck. I know when he was stuck in the first. I know when he was stuck in the first one. I know when he moved to the next one, and to now see him now move, from there to somewhere where he's now like independent and he can plan himself, even way better, is actually mind blowing, really. Right. So tell us about the in betweens as well, right? did you try, what are the other things you tried your hand on that, probably, yeah.
So there was a period in between my school and before this first sponsorship where I was in school but not studying. I was trying to fix my project that period of time, and I was doing photography. I was doing 20 hours in care, and the photography was actually doing good. But at the back of my mind, I knew once I start the care job, I won't be I won't be able to function very well, which actually made me miss my space in the wedding industry in the UK because I was off for like 2 years. My schedule was a mess, work was stressful. When I was doing care, basically I had no free days. So I work 4 days, and if within that I still have to do childcare, do a little bit photography that comes my way and stuff like that. So it was really stressful, based that all my life as an adult, what I know how to do is photography. Basically, when I was in Nigeria, that's what I was basically doing. That's all I know how to do. And then I transitioned into tech. Don't let me say try. I actually did. And when there is a purpose for you, you had a fulfillment to fulfill. No matter what you try your hands on, you still have to go back to that calling. Even when I was in healthcare, I did my NVQ 3, did NVQ 5, just to get ahead in the industry. But still, I know I had a different calling from that entirely. So I just woke up one day to just make the final decision to let's go and let's God.
Yeah, one of the things I like about your journey is that anywhere you find yourself as well, you always try. I remember when you were also in the RQI boot camp and everything, you always try. When you were in the care space, you didn't, even though you had that skill set, you made sure that, right, you were doing your best. Whatever it is that will get you to the top at that space you are, you did it. I remember one time too, you said that, based on your digital marketing skill sets, one of the people that sponsored you wanted to transfer your sponsorship to the Dell, to the, which is also something that happened to a lot of people as well. Like, okay, you could even get sponsored under care, but when you
Actually,
implemented
gave them a proposal on their marketing and they used it.
exactly.
So they didn't transition me, but they had, at least they used the idea I gave to them for the time being.
Exactly. So exactly. So you can't say, oh, you will wait until something. You still need to keep moving. Keep
Yes.
upskilling. Keep adding value to yourself because you never know where that would also come in.
And we,
So another thing you said as well that I think another thing you said was the fact that, right, you tried your hands, like, okay, yeah, I'm sure, yeah, the photographers in the house as well, and those that have skills, like makeup artists and co in the house, I'm sure you all can relate to not being able to function at your maximum. Even though you're doing it aside, also you get clients that will call you. I don't know if any photographer in the house can relate, or the people, like people that have their own skills, right? Clients will want your service, but because you have to go and chase shifts, because you have to go and pick shifts, you are unable to actually fulfill, those orders and actually grow your brand the way you really want to. So why did you choose the Precious says she can relate. I mean, I can, even like myself, I remember there are times I will call him, like, you'll be like, I have shift, I have to take it. Yeah, you have to actually take an off day to actually be available. It's not just possible. And even as a photographer too, even if you have a community that you can refer, or a makeup artist, somebody calls you for something, and they call you for a service, and you're like, okay, I'm not available, but I can always push my friend. Sometimes you push your friend for the job, and your friend will not do it well, or you will just miss on those opportunities. So there's nothing like that independence. Either you get it, through self sponsorship or global talent, or whichever way. But now, talking about global talent, why did you not explore other routes? Because I know that as a photographer, there are also other routes, that you can explore. By the way, the next person I'm bringing on this call is, one of our alumni as well, that used this video cinematography skill to get global talents. That's to let you guys know that there are a wide range of, ways you can exploit. But why did you not explore global talents?
so I my first option was global talent, and I was already making a few moves towards global talent. But along the line, so talking to one of the people I was looking forward to put me through, she gave me some things like you have to do the exhibition. Based on where we're coming from, we don't do all those. So my position as a photographer was not a leader. I have to start all over from the start. I have no exhibition, even though I have magazine. There was just a few obstacles that I will eventually be able to overcome, but due to my commitment to the care system, I'm not able to undergo those commitments smoothly. So that means I have to go to Nigeria, do some exhibition, do it over here. So it was not all that straightforward for me. But for the self sponsorship, it's like my business was already registered for like 2 3 years, so everything was already in place. It was just for me to arrange and submit for my for the license. So I have everything in. Even when I had everything in place, and I check about the post sponsorship license conditions. I wanted to run back into global talent, and that auntie told me that, see, you've started this one already, just see it to the end, and just believe in yourself. And you too, I'm always calling you whenever I have an obstacle and you're like, illusions, just do it. When you get to this bridge, you will cross it. But at least you have a foresight. There was a time you even told me to submit my business plan to you for you to see if this and this and this are things that will actually work. And I did, and was like, this is possible. And you give me other ideas that that's where relationship comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a person, if you're an island, then as in this country, it's easy for you to have negative thoughts more than positive thoughts. If you don't have relationship, you don't have people to share with, and where you land, the people you are among will always limit your range. You know, when you learn the people that everybody in that generation, in the street, in the people that I know they are doing care, you will not see beyond of that care circle. But
Mm-hmm.
in a way where you're able to meet other people, talk, and then you see people in other fields doing very well, then it's easy for you to look at them
Mm-hmm.
and aim at doing better at what you do.
Basically, like simply put, you cannot outrun your exposure. You need to expose yourself to a
Yeah.
wide range of network. Attend LWB, for instance, because I won't stop talking about it. I can't count how many people have attended sessions like LWB and they left with their mind opened. For instance, we had some people that left, and the day they left, they didn't just get inspired. They registered their business right away. One of these people, I attended an event that the business she opened after LWB last year organized, and yeah. So, like, what am I trying to say? We need to increase our network and beyond even attending events, because I don't want it to look like I'm just marketing. Network, network with people, keep people in, like, network with people that that they network with people, network on LinkedIn, attend events. Let's go out as a people. We Nigerians in the UK, we don't step out. If anybody organize events for Nigerians in the UK or for Africans in the UK, they don't used to get attendees. I don't know why. Because they said people have gone to chase shift or something. But we need to step out. That's the only way we can actually expand the scope of what we are aware of or what we can explore. Anyway, let's move on very quickly from there. Now tell us, what were the things that first of all, what was the thing that made you believe that you could succeed in this particular route? And then after that, you're going to tell us what are the documents, or what were the things that you had to put in place, right, to prepare for this application. So is it very different from, COS? How does it differ from COS? I think I've asked 3 questions in one now. So I'll
Yeah.
stop there so I don't ask another
So
one again.
I will start from the first edition of LWV, which I was very opportune to be there. So I got to know about global talent and sponsorship from that program. There were some speakers that came to talk about a particular lady and one other guy that came to talk about that. And I instantly from that program, I knew I was going to go for either one of them because it was explained to an in-depth level. There was a lady that one woman that came like that. I later had the opportunity to talk to that woman. So I knew I was going to go for either of those, but still I was not sure of myself because I saw that I have left the space of the media space for a very long time, even though I'm still doing a few things. And in the UK, you live on your daily means. You have bills to pay, you have family to cater for. So looking at yourself and saying, oh, am I able to even make enough money to fit into this company, apart from even surviving, like apart from even making money for cut off of the salary, your own survival, because as a family man, it depends on it. So basically, like I said, relationship goes a long way. You need to be around people who will constantly tell you can do it, than if you do it and it doesn't work. Basically, as human being, that if you do it and it doesn't work, it's already at the back of your mind already. That's the first thing that comes to your mind. Then now, when you have people who are negative, or not negative in a way, who don't have enough exposure to see the positivity in what you're trying to do, and then you share
Yeah.
with them, and then, okay, for example, now you were my coach basically in most of the things I do, when it comes to business wise. And even when I said, okay, even when I had my license and I didn't want to go on the COS, you were like, why? What's the actual? In fact, there was a friend of mine that we worked together. That the guy even decided not to talk to me again for a while. That I don't know why you are scared of your own abilities, because there are things that you can do. And despite we have multitude of photographers in the UK, you have everything. There's always a space for you. As of last week, I had 3 events that I had to send. I was still looking for enough team to throw around. So that is to tell you that there can never be more photographer than the people who need the service. So with that, I was able to come back into my own space, make use of my essential relationships, that the bridges that I didn't burn, the relationship that I had to keep, I had to water to survive, to push myself to the direction. And then even when I came out, I had to announce to everybody that, okay, well, I'm now full time available to engage in any photography, videography, any event, training, and everything that you have for me, that I'm available. So the first thing first is that thing that you have in your hand that you think can make you money, or that you've tried and that can make you money. You need to overemphasize on it. You need to work on it. You need to generate relationship that will foster your growth when it comes to this part. And then that will show you, in fact, from where you are planning with positive mind, you can see your future. Yeah.
Right, thanks for that. I can totally relate to what you're saying. The fear of the unknown. I left 9 to 5 2 years ago as well to become a full-time entrepreneur. And before then, even though like I had a very like sustainable business, I know a couple of me. I don't even really have a lot of people that I just share with. When I want to do something, I can be very stubborn with it. But I remember sharing with my husband particularly, and I told him, not even shared once. Like I was on mat leave, then I finished mat leave, and I'm like, this mat leave. I don't want this company. I don't want to go back after enjoying 52 weeks.
Mm.
And it was like, no, you have to go back. Oh. You can't. In fact, then so I wasn't really. I read somewhere that you can't resign from maternity leave, so I had to resign. I went on part time so that I could juggle it with my business. But just like you said, it's never the same. Even though my business was even service based and I didn't even have to go everywhere, it's never the same when you are juggling. But one of the most important things to do, which is something you said as well, is, and which is something I tell my business coaching students, if you want to leave your 9 to 5 for any business, you need to create at least 7 income streams for that business, that you know that sure, if money does not come from here, it will come from here, it will come from here, it will come from here. And when you have all of those things in place, or when you structure all of those things, that confidence, right? That confidence is something that a lot of people, are always scared of. I know people that are already on 6 figure with in terms of like 9 to 5, but still they are scared to leave that 9 to 5 to start their own thing. But sometimes, people like us, that's why we have the resilience, because when things are not perfect, right? For instance, those that are looking for self-sponsorship, when you know that leaving your 9 to 5 and pursuing this is the way forward, you have to push yourself, you don't have to wait until all those income streams are complete, but you have to have the right, foresight, and believe in yourself. You believe in yourself. For you, I think you already had a good advantage as well. You had quite a good brand. You had customer base, and you had quite very good relationship. I used to call you the connector, like, someone that has, there's nothing you need in terms of the creative space, the illusions. If you need makeup artists, he'll give you 10. If he gives you 10 and all 10 are engaged, you still have another 10 to still give you. So I think he has that special gift of relationship. So I think I asked again that what were the things, I know you said you had your business already registered. What were the other things that you had to put in place, and how long did it take you to put these things in place? So you already mentioned about registered business. Guys, please, if you have questions from anything we've said so far, so I don't forget, just start dropping it in the chat box. Don't worry, I'll come to it and I'll ask. Like I said, I'm freestyling the questions as well. I didn't plan any. I'm just taking from a story, and I want you to, as it's occurring to you, to drop your questions, and I will mix it all together. So what were the things you put, because I know people are eager to hear this, what were the things you put together, that you used in submitting the application? Can you describe the application process itself?
So basically, registering a business is the first thing, and then registering a business account is another thing. That's the second part, and you need to start trading. So trading in the sense that you need to start making money into the account. It doesn't matter how much you're making. They're not expecting. It's not expected to make 10,000, 50,000 within the first. At least you need to submit like 3 months account, and it has to show money in, money out trading. So what chases people off registering a business account is business. Basically, they think when you start register your business, they start asking you for tax. That one is a separate thing. You can talk to your accountant, but it doesn't work like that. You still have grace of a few months, and I don't know much about that, but related to me, you can
Until
register your
18
business.
months after, you are not even due to file any tax until 18 months. That's what a lot of people, are scared. They are operating side hustles and not registering businesses. This is not to say those that, probably their visa does not allow them to register businesses. But if you like, that's one of the things I also made sure I did when I started my business. I got people that will say, don't register business, you pay tax, so you can, and I'm like, I know what I want to build. It's not for just today. I want to build, for the long term, right? So I think, so when I registered the business, I didn't even have anything to do with tax man or even filing. I think it's 18 months. You have 18 months grace if it's
And
the
you have
first
to be
time.
making 18,500 thereabout before you. I think it has when you talk to accountant, they will explain to you better, but at least you don't have to pay anything for my own. I was trading, and for a very long while I didn't have to pay anything because I was making enough money to throw back into the business. So there was no profit bill. I had to buy camera, lens, do everything. So it works. So you can register your business like that. And then most importantly, you need to have a business plan. So your business plan is that particular information that will tell the home office that this is how much you can make if you have to sponsor someone.
Mm,
So it does not matter how much you're making now.
mm,
It's what matters is how much you think you can make to be able to afford the salary rate that is the ongoing salary rate. So that's where your business plan comes in. And like RKY said, if you want to start a business, you have to have at least 7 stream of incomes that will bring in money for you for that business, and you have to follow those stream of incomes for your own benefit. Right now, when I started, I was just a photographer. I started learning videography. I rebranded my academy. Right now, I have like about 4 students. I started my digital products. I have other things that I'm doing just to
money
not.
must be complete.
Yes, and the more I do these things, the more it helps me personally too. I made relationship, I gain more experience, I get more exposure. So it's give and take. It helps. The more you give out, the more you get in.
Exactly.
So that business plan is what will help you, what will explain that okay, I don't have 60,000 pounds in the account to pay my employee, but at the moment, this is what I am. This is what I hope to do. Once I get sponsorship and I sponsor someone, this is how much I'll be
Your
able to make.
productivity will increase, and
We
then you will
increase
now be able
efficiency.
to
We
afford. So,
Yeah,
like
to
a
afford
projection
that.
plan.
Yes, exactly. Then once you have that, then you need to register for your payee, which is the payroll.
Okay.
You register for your payee, register employment liability insurance, and those are the basics. Then
Right.
you can
So,
you can register for VAT.
mm,
But if your company is not that big to make that much rate for a BAT, you might not need it. But it's better you register. Then after a while, if you're not making up to that, you can cancel the VAT. It doesn't affect you in any way. Then you need to set up your HR as well. So you can go to any HR app
HR
online, set up your
system.
HR. They give you their policies,
Mhm.
amended to your own policy, and those are the part of things you submit.
Right. I think you need about 10 evidences to show. I think you need a number of evidence. Is it 10 evidences to show?
So the evidences, you need your invoices, your statement of accounts, and then also for this is a mistake that I've seen people made when you are applying for sponsorship. You need to tie it to an employee. So that means you need to tell them that, okay, oh, I've
This is the
searched
person you want to
and I found
sponsor.
someone. Yes, I found
And this
someone.
is passports.
This is his CV.
And the
This
CV.
Yeah, and these are our contract of agreements. This is how much I want to pay him per year. So by the time they give you a license, they give you a slot for that person.
For that person.
If you register without that, you're not going to get any slot. You just get your license, then you have to register again
for each slot
for COS.
Makes sense.
Yes. So now, one of the most important thing is, as a care worker or as a skilled worker under any other visa, you can't register a company. So
we'll get to that one. Let's just review these documents first, because I already can see people asking those questions. So now let's get to the evidence first again. So guys, let's just recap the evidences. So it said, first of all, register your business. So your business needs to be registered, and then you need to, you don't need to worry about tax immediately, because it's only businesses that make profits that will pay tax, right? And of course, your projection needs to show that you make profits, but you don't need to be making profits at the point of registering. And then you need to have a strong business plan that is showing that this company will not only make revenue, we make revenue that will be more than 40,000 or whatever the minimum salary for what's the salary requirements for the role you want to sponsor for. So if it's 40,000 per year sponsorship that you will give to someone on COS, or 38K, the business, you must show that the business will make up to that amount to be able to afford to employ its staff. Right, so your business plan is the one that will show the future of that business. Then you must register for payee. That one does not, at the point of is on HMRC, you can do it yourself. You can get an accountant. So, employment liability as well. So this one, you need insurance if you want to register. All these evidences are what shows that you are a genuine business. A genuine business. We have public liability insurance, employee insurance, and I think professional, I don't know, there are two insurance that are important. One is public liability and employment liability, and then VAT. This is optional as well, but if you don't have enough evidences to show that you are a genuine business, you can register for your VAT. But if you register for VAT, and just like any other tax, if you don't file. So there's a difference between filing and paying tax. Filing, even if you have zero tax, you need to still file. I have zero tax. If you don't file, when that time passes, you'll get penalty.
I got bills for 2 months. Exactly. And I was not charging VAT.
Exactly.
I wasn't charging. So I had to call HMRC to explain, and then they had to cancel the VAT eventually, because the projection is not up to that amount for VAT yet.
Exactly. So you need to, if you file for VAT or self-assessment or any other type of file, if you should register for that tax, you must be filing and be saying, I did not make money, I did not make money, I did not make money, or you paid your tax. You find that I made money and paid the tax. HR system, you need to have an HR system. Don't forget that COS is tied to, this COS process is just the same thing that an employer will do for you when they want to employ you. So you need to have all those paperwork in place to do it for yourself as well. So an HR system that you use to manage the employee that you want to sponsor, which is you, right? You need to also have all of this in place. Invoices could be for businesses in the future. Say for instance, in the past and in the future, just to show that I have a track record. These are the invoices of people that have paid me. I'm not just
so they need your business to be genuine. It has to be genuine.
Exactly.
Convincingly, like you have to be able to convince them with documents you have that the business is genuine.
Exactly. So genuine invoices of people that have paid you in the past. So if you have people that you'll be collecting side money from, you need to generate invoices to show and be keeping all these things, because those are the things you need to show that your business. Then statement of account, of course, that shows how people are paying you for services, how you are also paying for expenses. That shows that it's a genuine business. And then tie it to an employer. To an employee, if you want to apply for the COS, you need to tie it. I know, as you're already saying all these things, questions that's coming to people's mind. If I'm not
Yeah, a lot
sponsoring
of
myself,
questions in
who is the
in the
employee
chat
then?
already.
Who is the employee then? If I want to tie it to employee and it's still me, then who now register the business? And I'm sure that that is what we are going to go to next. So, but we already have some questions which we can just take some minutes to quickly answer. But I think some of the answers will come in during the registration. Did you stand as the director of the company? So that's the next question we want to talk about now. How did you register the company? And who was the employee that you tied your COS to?
So registered the company was under my partner, my wife's name.
So dependents, basically. So it was on the care visa.
My dependent was because she's not on care, she's a dependent, so she registered the company. And then another important part is, if you want to
Simply
get
put, it's a joint business. He didn't just
yeah,
register it. It's husband and wife. So the wife is the director, he is the employee. Simple.
yeah, but my name was not anywhere on
this
the
company's house.
so as not to breach your normal visa. Then you need an AO officer, that's an authorizing officer for your company. If you want to get a license, that AO must be a British person and must hold a significant higher percentage of the shares of the company. So that person doesn't have to be on salary, doesn't have to be on any dividends, doesn't have to be part of the business, but he has to know about the business, your day in, day out activity. Because if there's a compliance check, that person is the one that will be responsible to respond to the home office, not any other person. So you need to get a British person that has to be your authorizing officer. And that's the major.
Let me rephrase that as well. So basically, you need an authorizing officer. So basically, you're not the one asking for this COS. Simply put, you are not the one. Is this British person who is either an employee? So you need either a British employee or a director to be the authorizing officer when applying for this. So if you want, basically, so you need so that British person, go, is the person whose name is on the line for this COS we're all talking about. The British person and the director of the business, they are the ones whose names are on the line. So that's why the self-sponsorship route is not like a special route of itself. It's not a special route. It's still the COS route.
It's like a normal care company.
Exactly. It's just that, you are the brain person. Some people actually have businesses where they are just the director in real life. It's somebody's blood that is somebody's blood that is doing the work of the business. So more like it's, some people have business, they don't know anything about that business. It's the employees that they have that are actually the brain and everything behind the business. So just let's look at it that way, right? So this British person, which is where relationship now come in as well. How many of you have friends that are British, or have people that are British or settled that would do anything for you? Either if you don't, most of the people that offer it as solutions will tell you that you need to put this person on a payroll. So imagine business that you want to start, that you have not even sure that you get your 40K, and they're already telling you that if you want to get a British person, they can give you someone and you pay the person £500 every month. When you yourself, you're not even sure. So the British person, and again, you know what? This doesn't even have to be a separate. You can also co-found with a British person. So if you know a British person that you guys want to start business together, you can co-found your business and two of you be directors. But there are so many things that could fly in some time past that don't fly anymore. Say for instance, even this British person, before it wasn't required. I know people that were not British that had done COS before, that's not authorizing officer before. They changed the policy. So there are some things we even say on this call today that flew as and when he did his own, or that was okay, but I might not be okay in the future, which is why time is of the essence when we want to do our things. So this authorizing officer, before, if you give the person just 1% of business, it could fly before, and you give yourself 99%. But now it would be a problem if the one person the person that is British is 1%. They can tell that it's not real. Another one, now they are inviting this authorizing officer for interview, meaning
Yeah.
that the
Sometimes
person
we call
needs to
them.
know about your business. They will test the person about the business. So if you go and get somebody that is British and you are saying that your business is, let me look for example of businesses that people mentioned here. Your business is cook, let's say bakery or cooking food, and they're asking you about your hygiene, whatever policy, and the authorizing officer is not able to answer that question. They will know that that person is not actually involved in the business. The person that is the authorizing officer needs to be trained or needs to be involved in the business enough to be able to explain how you run your business. There was someone I know that they asked a simple question as, if an employee comes late to work, how will you handle it? And because the person does not, I don't know, the person was not able to answer that question, right? So they could ask any question about the business. So please, I mean, do you have anything to add to it?
Yeah, that's the basic thing. So sometimes they call the AOs, authorized officer, and ask them questions about your company, how you get clients, what you do, and stuff like that. So it has to be someone close to you who understand these things, and that's it basically.
Okay, fantastic. Let's move very quickly. So I think we have some questions which I'll just quickly read out. Um, During the business, did you stand as director? We've answered that. No, you did not. Even that's 1,800. If you are selling second-hand, you don't fall under tax returns. Will a cooked food or soup business be considered for sales sponsorship? Any business that is active, that has all these things we've mentioned, can get sponsorship. Any business, makeup artist business is getting sponsorship.
Yeah.
Any business at all can get sponsorship if you meet all the requirements that proves that you're a genuine business and you also have a British, right, a British director. So if you already have a business, you've registered and your name is already on it as director, you probably might want to register another one completely for this one, because by the
Or
time you remove
you
director,
can remove yourself and you
but if
can.
if you remove yourself, if you remove yourself, they can see all the history of people that were removed and resigned and all of that too. So that might not be something they are picking now. It could be something they will pick in the future.
Later. Yeah.
So you might just probably want, but I don't know. Is That's a different legal. You might need legal advice for that one. Okay, so does this apply to innovators founders visa? No, this is completely different from innovator founder visa. By the way, this visa, self sponsorship visa, innovator visa, and other kind of visas will be discussed at LWB. So make sure you are in the room. We are bringing one of the endorsing bodies, the people that do the assessment and approve or not approve innovator founder visa. They are one of our sponsors. They'll be hosting a workshop, and you can ask all your questions. Imagine when you are in the room with Home Office approver for your visa. That's like, you can ask any question basically. So make sure you get your tickets, and make sure if you have to travel from Wales or Scotland, please do, because even our speakers are traveling from this venue. So why not I don't know why my team has been crashing. I don't know. Did everybody's call cut, or was it just me that left the call?
Or just you. We are all here waiting for you.
I don't know. My team has just been crashing and restarting itself. But yeah, let's go. Let's move very fast. Okay. People are saying, how do I get a British press? Okay. Can a business without location? Were you on care visa? Were you on care visa when you registered the business? Yes, the business have always been registered under his wife's name as the director. Wait, did you even know that this would be something? When you registered it, were you there before you removed yourself?
No, I was never there. I was a student when you got registered.
Being smart, you had the OT.
Yeah, as a student, you could not register business as well.
Oh yeah. As a student, he couldn't. So yeah. So as a student, he couldn't register, and then the wife. Okay, cool. Let's move very quick. Can you talk more about this HR? What's it about? So the HR is you getting an HR system that will manage your employee records, that will manage your
Yeah,
policy.
yeah,
You know,
your
so they
clock
want
in,
to.
clock out, your attendance, because you can if you miss 100 days in your attendance at work, you need to notify the home office if any of your employee miss 100 days. So you need to have an HR system. There are different apps, different websites that offers that at a
Mm,
very good price online. The one I'm
exactly.
using is about £18 per month for 5 employees. So it has sign in, sign out. It has all the compliance checks, including your
Mm,
visa, your academic, your leave of absence. Everything is there, and it has policies as well that are tuned to your kind of business.
exactly.
But the
So that.
funny thing is, once you register the business, once you get your license, I don't know how the HR business are doing their marketing. They will get your number and they'll start calling you.
Okay. Oh, they
Yes,
share
that
and they
that was
share
how
the
I got
data.
the system I'm using. They will start calling me.
They will
I
start
just had to
marketing.
give one a chance, and then it was the one I eventually worked with.
Okay. Thank you. What can you say about LOTR? You need to tell us what LOTR means, sir.
No, they need to see animation. I checked it, and it's about leave of any kind. If that means if you are not on any visa and you've exhausted your stay or
The
something
person
like
needs to
that.
explain to us what it means.
Live outside immigration rules. So you need to see a lawyer for that.
Okay. Can a business without business location apply for license, like business, like service business or business running from home? You know why this is a risk? You want to hire someone that you want to sponsor. You need to have a physical presence where the person you want to sponsor will work from. So either that place is now your house, or whether it's, it's better is even an office space. Abi, so that
So in my space,
mm,
in my own issue, yeah, I submitted list of agreements, which is the one of the list of agreement or invoice between me and the studios that I use, which is where I
so that's
service
like his
from.
office. So for his own kind of
Yes.
business, but it's not good that you use I don't know, business running from home, because you register. I don't know, to be honest, but I feel that you need to show that it's actually a business space. So even if yeah, it's a business space, because if you want to sponsor someone, the person has to work, from an office, but basically.
But it depends on what you do. It depends on what you do. You can use your home address, but it depends
Mm,
on what you do. But like I said, in my own space, aside from my own business this thing, I included that I work from rented studio, and I got invoices from the studio to
okay.
add to my evidence that okay, fine. Oh, in case they come from inspection and they come to my house and they don't find any studio, I will take you to
Mm,
the studio where I use, which
exactly.
are the normal studio where I use most times.
Exactly. So, but yeah, you need, like, I don't know if a virtual office works. I don't want to answer
So
that, whether virtual
basically,
office.
the kind of business you
Oh,
do, whatever works, you need to understand that is if let's say you are baking and everything, if you bake in your house and you have your things in your house, that's fine.
exactly.
But you
Then
know
if you have your
those kind of
bakery.
businesses need some special license aside from this thing, your
Mm,
hygiene license, your everything. So your council license, you need to get all those ready. That one is a different case entirely before you now move into the other one.
exactly. So the kind of business you do, and whether that your location you want to use is actually an approved, and is a good location for that business. So if it's bakery and you have your kitchen as that is 5-star, that is 5-star hygiene, whatever, definitely you can sponsor someone to come and work from that kind of place. Okay. I want to direct this question to Mrs. Rookie. When you started ROKY, how did you set your pricing and secure your first out of this? How did you? How I want to start a tutorial, but I'm scared. I'm scared. I want to learn from your experience. If you don't mind sharing, you need to probably join my business coaching program for that one. So but pricing basically when you're doing business is determined by a lot of things. Your costs, your value, your markets, and so much more. Okay, so after the tax grace period elapses, what's next? What do you meet up? How do you meet up with the threshold to pay yourself? What grace is that? What grace period is that? Do you have a grace period at the moment?
No. So once you get license, there's no grace period because you said your grace period ends once you get a license. You have to start paying the threshold that you picked for the job, the salary threshold immediately. So when you register a business, I think your grace period is about 18 months that you don't. Then most importantly, if you are not if you don't have a payee yet and you're not paying anybody salary and your income is not up to £5,000 in a year, you don't have to pay. You only have to pay corporate tax, and corporate tax
Oh,
is
is it
20.
VAT she's talking about?
She's saying tax in general. So your corporate tax is, I think, it's 20% of your profits.
Oh, after the tax grace period elapses, what's next? You know, during the tax grace period, it's not like you're not paying tax. You are not just filing it yet.
You are filing, but you are filing zero because you're
No,
not making enough money.
you file whatever you make. Oh.
Whatever
It's
you
just that
make,
you are not due to file
file
until after 18. So you can decide to register the business, and not do anything.
anything.
But when you are
When you want
sponsoring
to
someone,
sponsor,
you
when you
need
want to
to
prepare yourself
salary.
to sponsor, you need
So
to
you need
have a
to make
working account.
money. Yeah.
Yes.
So you will be filing though. You would eventually file. That was one of the mistakes I also made. I thought that 1 year, I thought that 1 year that, I mean, it will still catch up because you still have to show what you did in that 1 year, basically. So the tax grace period is not a grace period, it's just a length of time you need before you start showing your work, your what you've done. But you still show it. You will still, there's no months that is missing, you will still show it. But if you don't qualify for VAT, you don't have to pay VAT. To qualify for VAT, your revenue needs to be up to 80,000 pounds or thereabouts,
£5,000 a year.
or 85 or 90,000. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, what if I am the department? I don't know what you mean by that. Please, can some, okay, if you are the department in terms of photography, and I think you're talking about registration, it doesn't matter who the department is. Anybody can register a business, and that person, if they meet all the requirements, can sponsor someone else. So even if you are the cook in the house, your husband can register the cooking business, and then you will be the one they will now employ into the business and sponsor. So I have somebody ask one question that I really like. I can't wait to get there. Please, can someone on care sponsorship register and run a business in the UK? You might not be able to, but your partner can. Excuse me. Your partner can, but if you're not married and you have, I don't even know who will do it for you if you're not married, such that you don't lose the business as a whole as well. But yeah, is it British person or British citizen, please? What's the difference between the two, Madam Esther? If you use your partner as a director and they will be your dependents in the future, will it affect them being your dependent because their name has appeared in the book as directors? So this question is for you, Illusions. Your wife registered the business, but you are the sponsored one, and your wife will eventually be your dependent. How will this work?
It's a straightforward thing because based on that, I was already on care visa for my wife is already on dependent visa, so she didn't need to switch or do anything.
So she just continue to renew her own visa as dependent.
She doesn't have to renew anything since it's 5 years.
Oh,
so it's a straightforward thing.
She doesn't need to take in any documents.
No, not at all. It's a straightforward thing. So if it's a new person,
5 years straight.
Yes,
so 5 years straight from that time.
It's a 5 years.
Lose their license. Do their dependents lose their 5 years straight? I know that question is a further question.
Yes.
But their dependents are supposed to be on their 5 years straight. Anyway, that's a joke. But moving on. How do I get a British person? I don't mind paying. Oh, your own. What build relationship? Attended WB. There are a lot of British people that we're bringing on board.
Relationship. Basically, relationship. Yeah. It's not that hard to get a British person. It's just relationship that matters.
Exactly. British or settled. So they don't need to be British if they have ILR.
Yes.
And again, these things are things that are not that easy. Like they need to really have a relationship. That's why we need to really build relationships. We need to get out there. But like I said, there are people that offer this as service.
Come to who uses their church member, people use their friend, family.
Exactly. One of our official immigration partner, the business that is our official immigration partner, they offer this like as a package, and they will tell you if you're getting the British person from them, this is the fee you pay the person's salary because the person is working for you. The person's liability is the one on the line. Is it that you do that, or you go and find relationship now? Go and find people in your church that can do it for you. That's you can probably basically. What if it's an online structure business? An online structure business would need to justify why they need COS, and they cannot just hire people to work remotely for them from any country. So you can't just base it on I'm an online structure business. You need to have enough reasons to need to sponsor as well. Do you get? So yeah, for instance, RKY is an online structure business, but we have an office space. We have staff. We have, so there are ways there are ways you can still prove that you're a genuine business, even if you're an online business structure. And this is not to say you should go and get an office space if you don't need one, right? You just need to, yeah, that office one. I know most people I know, they naturally have an office space or they have a place they operate from. So I'm not sure you can. I don't know about the virtual offices if that works. To be honest, okay, is innovators visa different from self sponsorship? Oh, very well. It's very different from self sponsorship. Innovator visa is a kind of sponsorship on its own. Self sponsorship is not a type of visa. It's still COS. It's just that you're sponsoring yourself basically, you know and you don't need to be searching for it because you have a business that's, you will put your hard work in that will generate the income that will pay your salary to sponsor yourself. That's the difference. Like I said, we have the business coaching program for those of you looking to, make your businesses work in the UK, that you can join to learn, how to build sustainable businesses, how to build streams of income. And also there's a program I'm launching soon on how to know, readiness, how to know we are ready for our 9 to 5 exits, or to start it, like get your business ready to know that you are now ready for 9 to 5 exit as well. Okay, should the British be a white British? To be honest, there's no real difference between British, but if you can get a white British, even more credible and more believable. I'm a baker looking to get self-sponsored, but none of this is in place yet. So I'm to start from scratch. Approximately how long will all the process take? So to be honest, I think it depends on where you are right now. It depends on where you are right now. If you say you have, like for him, he said he's already, he has a customer base, which is something I always tell people. You don't need to wait until you're desperate before you start a business. Start it as a side hustle. That's why I started my business coaching program in the first place, like last year when we started. We need more people to start using their skill sets. They don't to start using their skill sets to build sustainable businesses. So first of all, ask yourself now, because everything is also about running a genuine business. Your baking skill that you have, how many people have tasted your cake or your bread around you to be able to now pay for you to do it for them? Because that's the first thing. You need to have customers, right? And then the structure around it, your kitchen, all those hygiene tests, basically it depends on how long it can take you to get all those things. It depends on how long you think it can take you to get all those things in place. To register a business is 24 hours. To do business plan is not a long time, but the most important thing is to start running the accounts or running the business. To register for pay, to get most of this paperwork in place, to be honest, it doesn't take more than 1 week, but what you cannot buy is the proving of credibility of the business, which will require activity, buying, selling, paying in and out, and all of that. But I mean, there's always a way around everything. Moving on very quickly. Can two families come together to create and run a business in order to bring resources together, which means two sponsorship for one business? I would say that rather than this, maybe those two families should look at innovator visa as well, because if you can have a co-founder on an innovator visa and you guys will have, I mean, I don't know, but talking about two families can do it, right? But who would be the Illusions? Do you want to answer this question? Because I don't think is the discretionary question. It's not a technical question.
What's the question again, please?
Can two families come together to create and run a business in order to bring their resources together, which means two sponsorships for one business? Because if that business fails, do you know how many people will be on the line? The two families, the two, but dependents will be working.
Well, if they make enough, if they can make enough money to sponsor plenty people, because so sponsorship is an easy thing, as easy as explained. Compliance is the big deal. Compliance, you cannot mix salary, you cannot mix your taxes, you cannot, that's employee taxes, employer taxes, income tax, and everything. So sometimes if you don't have the privilege of new entrants, like you school there, your salaries are very high.
Mm.
So imagine you're paying about 800 to
80K.
900.
80K
Yeah,
per annum in salary, and then you have rent and you have other
you have
things.
rent,
You build
exactly.
business that will start making you that much per annum to be able to pay two salaries under one business. Except if you already have that business structure in place, and you just want to fine tune it. But just look at how much that business, it's easy for one person, one business to say, I'm going to put in everything, and, but the same business, but it's not impossible either. You just need to,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the business
strategize it
determines.
appropriately. Yeah. And again, don't forget that, skilled worker visa is not about the now. 5 years, the next 5 years you need to be paying that salary, except you're already on a visa. Like for instance, illusions now he's done about 3 years on his care, and good thing is that skilled worker is skilled worker, so he's just continuing on this one. So if that's the case, and you just follow, especially for people that I have 1 year to go on my visa, and an employer has lost license, this can be like a route you can explore. That it's just 1 year you need to run the business before you guys get on. um Okay, another question. Why can't you be a director of the business? Can you expatiate on that? I have people who have been directors and made the AO also a director, and they go approved. Or did I miss the information? So the AO can be a director, but the AO and the AO has to be British citizen. Simple. If you are the director of the business, you are making it obvious that self-sponsorship. But the goal at the beginning is not to make it obvious that you are sponsoring yourself, because we do not know whether they even know that people are sponsoring themselves.
So
Whether
nowadays they don't even there are stories, there are samples that shows that they don't allow that anymore.
exactly, they don't encourage it
They
anymore.
don't
So
encourage it,
it might be
yes.
a reason for refusal, the fact that you are the director and you are the one that wants to sponsor yourself. So it's better to structure it a way that you're as far from this business as possible, and then they bring you in as the as the employee they are sponsoring, right? I don't know if that makes sense to you, Mike. So there are some things that could have been allowable in the past. Like we said, they are changing their policies. Things will get tougher in, like that's how it is in the UK. The moment something, gets more frequent, they start looking more into it. I like to ask a question. Can a Nigerian British citizen be the AO? Which one is Nigerian British citizen again? A Nigerian that is British is already a British citizen. So they can be Nigerian when they want to be, and they can be British when they want to be. But so long as they have a British passport, or they have an ILR, they don't need to show their Nigerianness in the application. It's the British passports and the Britishness we need in the application. I hope that answers your question. What's the part of ILR for self-sponsor visa? It's the same, 5 years routes, except you have started your 5 years under another kind of sponsorship, and then you can continue on the self-sponsorship. So like I said earlier, self-sponsorship is not a route. It's the same as COS. So whatever law changes on COS applies to ILR, applies to self-sponsorship as well. So if they say salary threshold is now 90K, whoever is on self-sponsorship needs to meet 90K. Abi, I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Exactly. So moving on, what kind of company is the best to use, limited or sole? I don't think UK has solo. It's limited. The sole will be like maybe self-employed. You can't use self-employed, because if you are self-employed, you are the only employee, right? And your name is already there. So they said, what's the name of the HR company you use? So what happens if the business cannot pay the salary threshold? Good question. You'll be owing your staff salary. That's what will happen. And when you owe your staff salary, your staff, who is you, that you have employed, would not meet their minimum salary to get qualified for ILR in the future. So it will just be like the case of those people that have a job, but the job was not paying them salary and taxes. So maybe another thing, let's not go there. I want to say just ensure taxes are paid, but let's not go there, because that's you exploring a loophole, right? And then you are back into the cycle. Don't forget that if the business cannot pay, yeah, it's not just the business that is in trouble. How will you pay your own bills? Because because you are sponsored, you can't do another job. Which is another thing we need to think about. So it has to be a genuine business that that you're ready to put your all in to make sure it works. You're all in, because not only are you tied to this, your entire family is tied to it. Abi, I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to make sure you cannot miss the salary for a single month, because once they come from compliance check, they check everything, and then you cannot change salary. You cannot
Anyhow.
reduce salary without alerting the home office, and it must not go below the amount you say in your contract of agreement to pay.
Off
So
camera, what I know some people do, off camera, what I know some people do is that they have like, they have like a recycling cash they used to turn around the up and down, but off camera I said, so let's proceed. Okay. As a person on sponsorship in a care, is it possible to register a care business? So if you are a sponsor, if you are on sponsorship in care, another care business can sponsor you. Another care business that is registered for you by your spouse or whatever, but you are not there, right? But don't forget that if you now still get yourself stuck in care, okay, but it can sponsor you in a high role that is not low paying role, so that in case all this low salary thing, because what's the point of registering your own care to now be you? Okay, you won't be a carer in it, anyway, you'll be whatever it is you choose to be. But yeah, I believe a care.
but for care, you need to have your CQC before you can get a sponsorship
Starting a
license.
care company, except it's domiciliary, you need to rent for like while you are waiting for your registered manager to get their CQC, whatever. I know someone that paid rent for 1 year without customer, without being able to operate. But I don't like that's like I said, that's subject to that person's experience, right? But no, there's no business you cannot use to get sponsorship. Do you get? There's no business you cannot use. But whether or not you are now the one that will register it, like we've said, it's better you are not, because you are in a sponsorship. A sponsored person cannot register or should not be registering a business. So let's proceed. Can a black British act as a director? In the UK, a British is a British.
No matter what color.
either you're from Black or Poland or Nigeria. How long does a business must be in existence before applying for sponsorship? Good question. I'll leave this one for you. How long will business be in existence?
So your business registration is not even the matter. It's how long you've been trading. That is the most important thing. And your evidence needs 3 to 6 months bank statements. So that gives you the answer. It has to be existing for 3 to 6 months, with trading for 3 to 6 months, not even existence. You might have registered your business for a very long while and you're not trading. It doesn't count.
You see how someone's not to you for.
Sorry about that.
So it doesn't matter how long you registered your business. What matters is how long have you been trading, and they need 3 to 6 months evidence of bank statement. So you need to have been trading for that long.
I'll remove this person. Keep muting and she's unmuting. Okay, so just like you said, it's not about the number of months you've been registered, it's more about the operation. So, one thing in the UK, you can register a business and at the end of the financial year, if you've done nothing, you can file dormant. If you file dormant and your business is 3 years old, dormant, you are not in operation. So the day you start trading, you're supposed to notify companies house and all the people, home office and coda, you started trading. So that's the day your business starts. And your trading should not just be you turning on that you're trading. It should basically be you doing transactions, money in and out, income, salary, expenses, I hope that answers your question. And the minimum of like 3, 6, is it 3 months you said?
Yeah, 3 months.
Okay. Okay, let's see more questions. Let's ask more questions. Like to ask I think we've answered. Can the Nigerian, we've answered this. What is the path for ILR? Okay, we've answered this. What happens? Okay, we've answered this. As a person, is it possible to register a care business? Okay. I'm currently on a healthcare worker visa. I registered a new company where I am 40% shareholder, but my wife is the sole director. Does this structure impact my visa compliance? Do you want to answer that question? So the person, directorship is very from
Yeah. So If you want to sponsor yourself, you need to take yourself out. That's just to be safe.
Because see one thing that the British, this British Home Office and one thing they don't like is don't take us for a fool. And the moment they know one thing and somebody has casted or cast, they start using that against all applicants that come after. So you just want to, if it's your wife that is the director, right? You still need one more person anyway. That's the you still need the AO person.
Yeah.
So it's not just you and your wife, because your wife is definitely not British. Because if she is, you won't be needing, to do this. But you still need one more person, and yeah, someone you trust as well. That you know that when but even then, the salary, you are the one that will be managing your accounts yourself. If you plan it well, such that the real money go. It's you that have control over what goes on with it. Okay, so for a new person with no sponsorship previously, how do you sort the monthly payments condition? What do you mean by that? Monthly. So you pay yourself salary, right? Through money that comes into the accounts. Then that's where your accountants come in. So the way, like for RKY, for instance, the accountants, you use HR system. Is it? Yeah, you use like HR system to sort out what pay you should.
HR system and accounting. If you're a small company, you don't have to integrate it because it's quite expensive to integrate. So they can stand alone. Just make sure that you get your pay slip and you save it in your HR system. That's it. I've not even been saving mine, but I have a folder for it.
Exactly. So you sort out. So the things you pay. So apart from this, you pay taxes, Sha. So because you are sponsored, you would now not only pay yourself salary, you pay NI at the end of the month. You will also pay income tax.
Income tax. And then you pay employer's tax too from side of the company.
And then you pay pension.
You pay pension.
This person. You pay employee contribution pension. You also pay employer contribution pension. Yeah. So the business really needs to be a viable business. If not, it will be very expensive for you to maintain. Did you pay IHS when sponsoring yourself?
Yes, I did.
Because it's not under care, you did. It's coming from care where he didn't used to pay IHS, but because his business is a media company now, he paid IHS.
IHS, yes.
Can you suggest a lawyer that deal with visa issues? Well, I'm sure that Evolutions can share his lawyer's details. Can a director, and I can also share a lawyer, it depends on the issue. So can a director, one of 4 directors, one of which is British, set up the business and employ themselves and sponsor themselves? So if you are a director, one of which is British, set up it and employ themselves. So if you are I would say that for these questions, it's better to also speak to a lawyer. But if you're the director they want to sponsor, if the business is that big that credibility is not a question, there are some things you might be able to get away with because credibility is not a question. Oh, you've got like established, the business is making over 7 figures in revenue, and they want to sponsor one of their directors. It might not be a problem. It's not the same as a business that is 3 months old. The same director is the same one that they want to sponsor. A lot of that. But to play safe, it's better to be a bit distant, from the business that is sponsoring you, so that But you can get legal advice on this. What happens if you don't eventually meet the salary? I think we've already talked about this. If you don't meet the salary threshold, you will owe yourself salary. You won't be able to pay salary. And, how do one register for the business committee? That's why going for self-sponsorship is more like saying, I'm leaving 9 to 5 to start entrepreneurship. That's just it. That is very similar to that. And, a lot of people are always scared of making that move of leaving 9 to 5 to start entrepreneurship. Right. But guess what? People are doing it, and so can you. People are doing it. If you are if you are someone that is a hardworking person normally, and it's just like for me when I wanted to leave 9 to 5, I told myself that if my business is doing this already, well, despite the fact that I have another 9 to 5, I have little kids, I have this, I have that. If I am all of my own and I don't have any of those things pulling me, I know what I would use my hand to do that. I'll try this. I'll just keep trying new things. So make sure that I never go back, to 9 to 5. For you now to be to make sure that the company always continue to make money. So you diversify, you explore different markets. So once you register the business itself can continue to change. For instance, for him now, it was photography. Now he's doing training. He has a master class. By the way, for those of us that are photographers that need touch up master class, to become very good at it and everything, he trains on that. He trains upcoming photographers. If you are completely new, you want to start, he trains. So you will just continue to find new way, new markets, new things, new, is learning videography, cinematography, like, because guess what? Money has to continue to be coming into the business. Okay, so I build SaaS apps. How can I position myself to get a sponsorship? I'm a tech person. I train on tech transition. Can I register this and apply for self sponsorship on this? If you meet all the criteria we've mentioned earlier, you definitely might be able to get, yourself. And if you get the AO as well, that is British, right? That can. So, like I said, it's the way we look at the self sponsorship. Let's just look at it as okay. I'm setting up a company. A company is being set up. That company is going to sponsor me, but at the same time, it is my responsibility to ensure this company is also successful. So I'm the key man in this company, even though the company is sponsoring me. Meaning, I'm the one that have to do everything I need to do to make sure this company sponsors me. But if it's like a really, really genuine co-founded business where the director is also pulling in their weight and everything, it might completely be a different game. Can I be a director and sponsor my wife, then be a dependent?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
For you to be a director, it means you're already a dependent. So for his own case, his wife was already a dependent. So they didn't need any switch in the dependency or whatever. So his wife already had the 5 years dependency visa, and he said they didn't have to do any switch. But if you are not currently your wife's dependent, say for instance, somebody will be depending on somebody now, Abby. So anyway, let me just assume worst case scenario that two of you are currently not depending on each other, and then you are the director, and you want to sponsor your wife. I don't know, ask your question in another way, make it a bit clear, but because so that I don't keep assuming worst case scenario. Can someone or self-sponsorship or innovator website be permitted to earn money from social media, e.g. TikTok and Facebook? So the moment you're on self-sponsorship, another thing again is that you're allowed 20 hours of work elsewhere under the same. Everything that applies to someone on COS applies to you. So long as you can put that your TikTok under the business activity that you are doing,
or you route your payments into your
through the business accounts, exactly.
Not your personal.
Exactly. So your TikTok that you are doing, whatever you are selling there, make it one of the business activity of your business that is sponsoring you, so that when the money comes in, it goes into the business and it serves as money that can pay your salary. Some of us are making big money already from our different side hustles. Just turn that your side hustle, register a business, put all the activity. If somebody want to pay you for this service, let them pay into the account, let them use the account. Just be using the accounts to collect money so that there's activity showing, but don't just use it to collect any kind of money. Have your invoices as well. Okay, can someone or self-sponsorship be permitted? Okay. Can you explain the part where you said your wife is the director and then you're the main applicant? Yeah, they said she will explain.
So, like she has been saying, you can't sponsor yourself. There has to be a company and then you are the employee. So when setting up a company, you use someone close. It doesn't have to be your partner. Use someone close to you. Set up your company, and then you need a British person as your AO. In fact, sometimes if you have a British person, you don't need to have any other person on it. The person can be the AO and the director. If you
Exactly.
don't have a partner, you
You
don't have
don't have a
anybody that
wife,
can.
you have a best friend that is a guy, your
That's
guy.
British. The person
You know, the
can be
person
total of
can.
everything, both director and AO, and then he or she doesn't have to do anything.
But it's the person that they'll be sending mail to for
Mail to,
compliance.
and then
So the
he's
person
the one
needs
that
to be
register it
ready
for
and
your payee and
responsible.
everything.
The person needs to be a responsible person because anyway, but if you give you guys can set up an email and then the person will give you access to this email, but it will be the person's name and then you can be monitoring
So
your
it doesn't
things.
have to be your partner. It can be the AO can still be the director. Fine.
Mm, exactly. But the person has to be responsible to monitor mails to see if there's something new. If not, the person's email that the person has dropped, you'll be managing the email too as part of your responsibility. Please, can you explain the process of how you go about the application? To go about the application, all these documents you need to is on the we'll put the link to the government website as well. You go or you can also I think you said the illusions you have like a
Yeah, I
digital
have
products.
I have
There's the
a
digital products that also simplifies this further that you guys can that illusions has
put together.
created. Yeah, that you can also go we'll put the link. Please let's put the link RQY. So please, if I'm already just registered as a director and I remove myself and later register for license to post myself, since it will be on company house, does this still affect my sponsor? Blah blah blah. I think you should whoever it is that is doing this for you, like the lawyer or whatever, please let them, especially if it's someone that has done it before, let
Let my
them
advice.
confirm this, let them advise on this. Because it's things that are changing, right? It might have been okay one time, might not be okay anymore. With someone that have ILR provide AON registration. What's the question?
The
Someone
person
that has
somebody with
ILR
ILR
can be
can be your
able.
hero.
Yeah,
Yes.
because someone that has an ILR and someone that
It's
is
a settled
British,
status.
they're almost the same. They have the same rights. As care worker or skilled worker visa, can I register a cleaning business? If you are on a COS, you should know the condition of your visa, right? And the condition of your visa states that you cannot register a business, right? I don't know if that's changed, but that's the reason why we've been saying partner, partner, partner. But if you don't have a partner, if you have a best friend, you have a party, you have an uncle, you have an auntie, you have a family member in the UK, let them register a business for you and be your AO, that, especially if they are British. You don't need to look for any other second partner. And then when they get all these things that they need, but you are the one that will do the legwork. Once you get everything, then they will now sponsor your visa. I registered my business since July last year, treated with my personal account, and I was able to get my business account. Can I use my personal account to show my business trading? Because I received some payments in my own account. Did you do self-assessments for this period?
That can even put you into more trouble.
Did you did you do self-assessments for this
If you do
period?
self-assessment, you can use, but if not, you can't.
Because if you did self-assessments, you probably might be able to link it together. But if you did not pay tax on that money that entered your accounts in that your year, it's better you just let it go.
Focus on the new on your trading account, and then also the HMRC or Home Office does not accept these online bankings like Starling, Tide, Wise. So it has to be they only accept Monzo and the high street
Traditional
banks.
banks.
Yes.
Can my sister be the AO? Yes, if she's British. I'm a dependent and my partner is main applicant. If I use him as a director, he has to be my department when it's supposed to do. How does that work? I'm currently a sole trader at the moment. I want to switch to limited liability. Will that affect because of the name in future? I'm a dependent. I use him as a director.
So if you want to sponsor him, you just have to take him out of your.
But since you are the dependent, you can register the business now. Why do you want to still use him as director again? If you are the dependent, just
That's
register
fine.
your business and continue. You don't need him anymore to sponsor, Abi? Because if you are the dependent, you can register the business and then it will now become your dependent. But the thing is that you will lose the continuity of your 5 years.
If you want to switch position.
So it's better the main applicant registers the business. Abi? No, 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 no. Wait, were you were the main applicant and now you're also the COS person. Exactly. So let the main applicants.
Let the dependent register the business straight up.
Eh?
I let the dependent register the business. That's it.
And then the main applicants will continue to be the
To
sponsor.
continue, yes. If not, if you
Be the
switch
sponsored.
places, the main applicants and this thing will start from the beginning. If you want to switch
Yeah,
to
but
a
the thing is that
dependent,
if the main applicant is now the sponsored, but the person that wants to implement the business is the dependent, two of them in the family will be stuck under the same business. Do you get what I mean?
yeah, it doesn't pay like that because that means your source of income as a family will now be depending on the business alone.
On the same, yeah. Anyway, you can.
If your business is strong enough to survive it, to bring that income is fine.
Okay, employee and employer, except the business you want to register is your husband that will work in it as well. You know, for Illusions, his own was easy. He's the main applicant and is the one also working in the business. Say, for instance, if the business he registered now, or the business his wife registered, is the wife that will work in it. But because he's the main applicant, they used him. It means that he will not be able to work. Then the wife that can work, instead of her to go and work outside, she'll be working in the business again. So that would be a bit complicated, but nothing is impossible. Just seek the legal clarification and everything. So this means that the business has to be dreamed before even dreaming of sales post. If not, it will be revoked like the normal ones. Well, you can think of it that way, but you can also work towards your company being big, right, while working in the business as well. Does the business director have to be in the UK? Oh, yeah. Are you saying that can you self-sponsor someone from outside the UK? Is that the question? We need to ask this question in a way that is easier for me to interpret. So you're saying that can we sponsor someone under self-sponsorship from outside the UK, right? Ife, can you ask your question another way? In another rephrased way. Did Illusion apply as new entrant or used the other 5-year route? And what's the salary threshold annually as a photographer? I think that question is for you. Did you apply as a new entrant?
I'm a new entrant, so my salary was a little bit reduced than the traditional salary.
But you collect that for 2 years, have you?
Yes.
And after 2 years, you need to increase your salary.
No, it's a year now because my new entrant expired next year.
After that 1 year, you need to go. What's the salary threshold for photographer normally?
So for instance, the salary threshold is 34,000, and I'm paying 34,000. So
you see,
because if you are a family person,
is it minimum? Is it a temporary shortage rule?
It's not a temporary. So it's a skilled worker route. It's not a temporary shortage.
No, but is it mediums? Why is it that low? Why is it 34 for normal photographer?
Yeah, for photography is 34,000 is there on this thing. New entrance is 26,000. But most times if you are not married or you're single, it works for you. But if you are married, you have to just do the 34,000. So 34,400.
Who is that person that is muted? Mike. Okay, so medium skilled. Yeah, I think that's why it is 34,000. Okay, I think we are almost there. I mean, we need to wrap it up. I think it's been how many hours now? In the next 15 minutes, we need to wrap this up. But I think it's been insightful so far if you guys agree with me. What kind of volumes does home office require to validate your business as good enough for sponsorship? So how much should you be doing basically in the business, right? Should you have made up to 10,000 in revenue? Should you have made, is Illusion still here?
I'm here.
Okay, so should you have made up to 10,000 in revenue? Should the person, what's the threshold that, what does home office want to see in your account as either your deposits or your savings?
So all they need to see, all they want to see is genuinity and that you are trading. Your business plan will now explain how much you are looking on to make if you get the license to sponsor someone, which will probably increase your scope of work, your efficiency, and your income as well.
Right. So yeah, there's no fixed amount you need to make. if it's a new business, you can just show that this is where we are right now. But our business
This
plan
is
will
where
show
we are
that
going.
if we now are able to sponsor this person. So I remember that, like there was someone I know that was trying to apply for sponsor, and they were like, in the application process, if you can show that hiring this person you want to sponsor is the one that will move this business forward,
Forward,
and you
yeah.
can show the projection plan that without this person we want to sponsor, this business is stuck. But with this person we want to sponsor, which is you, right? So with this person we want to sponsor, the business will now have this projection because we will now be able to take so many others. We'll now be able to, so say for instance, if we currently train 200 students, if we add this person to it, we can now train 500 students, which will take our revenue to this and that. So you don't necessarily need to have that revenue of the goal, but you need to show that this person that we are adding is going to be the catalyst of the increase that we are looking for. But you need to be able to show transaction as well. So recap will be sent if you registered in the Google link. You will get a recap tomorrow or thereabouts. Is there any amount we need as proof of fund for the business?
That's what we just finished explaining.
Yeah, that's what we just finished explaining. You don't need it. Some people will still advise you still put some money in, But yeah, is it possible to get self sponsorship for someone who wants to be real estate agent and has registered business in the UK? For real estate agents, what does real estate agents mean? Like, is it property investor or there's no business that cannot have self-sponsorship. There's no business. If people that are selling retail African shop, they have sponsorship.
Yeah, sponsorship.
Photographer has sponsorship. So there's no business that cannot have sponsorship. So long as you can have all these documents and you can prove that the business is genuine, is making money now, or have plans on how they will make money in the future, then you're good to go. You okay? I'm scared. What should I do about it? So, what is this in response to? Hey, my partner is the main applicant with the sponsorship presently while I have a business, but not with a business account. Can I use him as director or should she sponsor me? I receive payments for people ordering cakes from in my personal account, another payment as well for shopping. Can I use the account? If you want to do self-sponsorship, you can't use. Go and sleep. You look tired. Go and sleep. No, I'm not tired. If you want to sponsor yourself, forget about those your personal accounts. I'm tired. Okay, go and sleep. But not my phone. Why do you want to use my own phone? Because I don't know where the other phones are. So, with regards to sponsorship rights, if you've not been doing your accounts rights the right way in terms of, it's okay to start all over again. Within 3 months, you can be ready if you put all of these things in place, right? You already people order cake from you. Let's scratch that. All your now you need to not take that your cake business serious. Start doing advertisements, do marketing, get more orders now, and take it from here and have a clean slate, right? So my partner is the main applicant with sponsorship presently, while I have a business but not with a business account. So if you have a business but no business, now is the time to register the business. Since your partner is the main applicant, then you will be the director. But it means that when you hire does your wife bake as well? Because if she's now the new main applicant, she needs to work in that business. You are the only one that can work outside the business. So you guys will be supporting each other. You have 2 jobs because your second job will now be joining her in the baking. Since you are the main baker. Do you get what I mean? I don't know if that answered your question. Okay, so I think we might not be able to take all these scenario-based questions because there are a lot, So I'll just look for how long does company need to be open before they sponsor? At least, 3. Yeah, take it. According to what Illusion said, at least 3 months. It's not about the number of months. It's about how long you're able to close my door to show activity. If you already have a business account, right? So if you just started post-study visa, let your partner open the account now. People should be running the account and running the transactions and getting all those things in place. Maybe like 6 months or 8 months into your post-study visa, you guys can now try, the whatever. But just be strategic about it. Give yourself enough time to prove real genuinity for the business, because you don't want to get a rejection, so you're applying and be doing it over and over again. Do you need a minimum balance? We've answered that. If I have a British as a family member, how can they help with the self sponsorship? I think we've answered that as well. That if you have a British family member, they can be the AO and the director of the business. Can someone on PSW register a business in the UK? I'm not so sure about that. Can post-study visa person register business?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, once you are done with school, you can. So do people now, when people register under PSW, when they now get sponsored, what do they do to the business? They go cancel it or what?
Yeah, they will have to.
But I don't think people do that too. I'm the one to be sponsored and I'm dependent for now. My husband is the main applicant. Okay, how long does running matters when applying? Can the director or shareholders be changed at any point? Directors can always be changed. Can the director be outside the UK? Some of the directors can be outside the UK, but not the main director. Okay, it's temporary shortage rule. Photography will be medium skilled. Okay, I think we've done a lot of. Can I reach out to Mr. Illusions? Yes. So to reach out, okay, I think we've even gotten to the end. To reach out to Illusions is on Instagram as Ayodeji the brand. Is on Instagram as Illusions. We're gonna drop his links here. Where's the link to his digital products? AO is authorizing officer. Barnabas. Similarly. So everything we've said, is good, but the next steps is for you to make sure that you are in the room for Limitless Without Borders, where this conversation is also going to continue, and you also have the opportunity to meet Mr. Illusions. For those of you that want to meet him face to face, you also have the chance to meet him face to face and ask more questions. He also has a digital product which will be linking to the mail that we send alongside the recording. I don't know why Timileyin is not on this call. He said he's the one that moderates, but I'll get the link now from my WhatsApp. I just give my phone away. Okay, it's been dropped. So yes, you guys should appreciate Illusions. He came here to speak for free. Appreciate him by buying. Why is he saying this? So let's appreciate him as well by buying his digital products. How much is the digital product on self-sponsorship?
I think it's 15. It's 15 pounds.
It's just 15 pounds, guys. So appreciate him by buying this product. If you buy it, I'm sure you have direct access to him as well to be able to get your questions answered. And and also, another opportunity to meet with him is at the Limitless Without Borders event. If you've not gotten your ticket, get it. If you are joining us from Lagos, Nigeria, LWB will also be happening in Nigeria.
Yeah, we're coming to Nigeria.
Yes, so LWB is coming to Lagos as well. And we are, the one happening here is going to be the biggest one. We have partners like, IIBA, investors, that's one of the innovator founder visa, immigration partners and so on. We can't wait to start unveiling our partners and sponsors that are going to be bringing discounted solutions to our attendees. Please, guys, let's appreciate Illusions before you guys go, because I know we were 215, 200 and something. Now we're 141. Nobody has even said thank you to Illusions. Nobody has said thank you to Illusions. Let's appreciate Illusions. He left his, I'm sure, because Illusions can shoot photography on this on the water.
Thank you, Mr. God bless you.
Oh, you said you wanted to ask a question. You can go ahead and ask a question. Mola Davis.
Hey, good evening. Hello.
Hello,
Thank you so much for this session. I've been asking a lot of questions. Please, there was a particular question I asked, and I think you didn't understand what I meant. So the
Okay.
thing is, I am the dependent. My husband is the main applicant, and we are on post study. But I have a running business at the moment,
Okay.
right now. So if I use him as the director, you know that I'll have to sponsor myself. So it will change. He has to be my dependent.
Yeah.
Yes. So when you were now talking about the time resetting, that's what I didn't really understand there. So that's what I wanted to ask
You
them.
are on post study, yeah?
Yes.
So don't bother about time resetting. Yeah, your time has not even started yet. So
Okay.
yeah.
It's
Don't
for
Okay.
people
So
that
you
are
mean
already
that if somebody is
unskilled.
on COS, that's when the time starts, right?
Yeah,
yes.
that's when you're. And
Oh,
again, it even depends on what you move to from the post study. But yes, if it's skilled worker visa, some people
yes.
say that if it's skilled worker visa, that's when you have that 5 years. So 5 years. So if let's say for instance you've been on care for 3 out of the 5 years, and then you now
Okay.
go and switch your husband to the main applicant, the 3 years that you have is cancelled. Your husband's 5 years will start from beginning. So that's why
Oh. So let's say if he's on COS now, he has to be the one to be sponsored, not
from
me.
beginning to the end of the 5 years. If not,
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
switch it at any point to the second person, the
yes.
5 years starts all over again.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Illusions. Thank you,
Yeah.
RKY. Thank you so much.
You guys go and buy tickets to do two things you have to do for me this night. I have 141 people on this call right now. Let me see. People have all of them have gone. You guys should go and buy 2 tickets. One LWB tickets and the second one Ilu Baba's seller. And if you are a photographer or a videographer and you want to upskill, he has a master class, where he also touches on these things as well. So
Yeah.
let's all like increase our network. Let me tell you one of the secrets. Let me tell you one of my secrets. You will see me taking pictures with people that you might call popular every other day. Sometimes, I have to pay for their services. I paid £1,000 to be part of a particular ladies community at the beginning of this year. I've paid for 4 trainings this year, not because I needed to train, not because I needed to learn anything new from some of these people, but because I just wanted access. You want access sometimes, you want, that relationship we're saying, you need to build it. There's nothing illusions ask me for tomorrow like this that I will not that I will not try to do. There's no event about that illusions was not there. Even children naming is there. Talk like there's no LWB that has not attended. Even this year, it's sponsoring 3 businesses, and I'm already putting you out there that it's sponsoring. That's the level we all need to get to, such that we don't need to be looking outside. We within our community, we are enough for each other. We don't need to be writing to HSBC that'll be telling us no for sponsorship all the time. Where I can tell Illusions sponsor everybody for free photography.
Yeah, we are
You know,
getting them.
or I can reach out, so that's what we really need to do. We need to hold on to each other because we are all we have, basically, and nobody is coming to save us. And for those of you that, this conversation about starting a business and, keeping the business sustainable is your worry, join the RKY business coaching program. Let me teach you how to make money, from your business, how to make sustainable income. It's just £100 to be part of the community. And this kind of sessions, you would not miss out of it. I think it's been a great session. It's been a great session so far. What's that one thing that you'll be taking away from? Wait, first of all, before we even go to one, if you have bought LWB tickets, the LWB ticket, is it for 7 days or for 8 days? LWB is a one-day event, a physical one-day event happening in London, in Stratford, June 27, and then Lagos, August 15. But for the London one, that's the one we are talking about particularly. If you have bought LWB tickets, comment tickets in the chat box. Or if that rookie, I'm not coming to any LWB. Come to LWB. See the number of people I've put together. People that will help your life. People that will be the key to the next stage. That you hold like this. Don't go without you. If you don't help me to know how to raise funds for my business, I will never let you go. Or people that you hold and say, what, if you don't help me to get that global talent like this, I will never let you go. Those are people we need in our as we speak like this. From my recent events I've been going, if you see the number of people that I have on my WhatsApp, I have some ministers' number on my WhatsApp. I have some group CEOs on my WhatsApp. And I can't get it if I'm sitting across them on the other side. I can't get it if I'm just sitting there in my house waiting for miracle. Sometimes you get up. I've bought tickets for events, £108. There was an event I went to last month. Because I wanted to unlock a particular door, I had to look for that person. I had to look for. How did you get to my messages? I will collect my phone. I'm done with my meeting. I'll collect my phone now. Take. So, I had to look for how I will get that person. That person was bringing an event to Lagos. And the person has some key to unlock some sponsorship for me in Lagos. I paid £108 to go to events that is none of my business. Just sat down there and waiting for the perfect opportunity for the person to just walk into my hands like this. And you know what? What did I left that meeting not only with what I wanted, but a good relationship with this person. And that is how it works. That is how you unlock opportunities. LWB this year, I have done the job of creating and making sure that everybody you meet at that event, they are going to be adding value to your life. I've got people that are now directors, VP, people that were once like you. Because it's good enough to get tech job for those of you that have gotten jobs already. But what is the next step? How do you get to partner level? How do you get to VP? How do you get to president level? How do you get, to starting a business? How do you become a full-time entrepreneur if that's your goal? Or how do you get fully UK settled? All these areas. Or how do you get on the property investment ladder? For those of you that want to get into property investments, or you want to start stocks and shares, whatever. How do we get all of these things? So please, like I said, we need each other. And again, if you know you have a business you want to exhibit and position your business at LWB, we still have some stalls available for exhibition. We also have sponsorship opportunity. If you have a service, you have a business and you can render some parts of your business for free to attendees as well to benefit from. We are accepting in kind. We have some Afro, like based on my relationship as well that I also started. I have some people that are sponsoring now. They are giving hair care products package bundle to attendees. Some are giving photography and videography and branding, for that's illusions, And we have like the IIBA now as well that is coming and giving IIBA for the business analysts in the house. They are giving discounts, to some of our students that want to get their professional exams done. Those are the doors that I am unlocking. It's now up to you, right, to come and tap into them. Only 2 people have bought tickets for AWB. Despite my 3 hours of talking on the phone. This is where I end this call. I wish you all a very great So £450, to get on any of our RQI courses, for those looking to get into the tech space. Like I said, Excel. Our course, these are the start dates for our next set of courses. LWB tickets are still on. For those of you looking to, apply to jobs and, that's the stage you are, we've got like a job application as a service product. I didn't realize that was a video. So these are people we've gotten interviews for under Apply Body. So at Apply Body, what we do is to apply to jobs for busy professionals. If you're also a business person or you're a career person and you want to get featured on our podcast, you can reach out as well. And, you can refer people to us and earn 10% off whatever value we are selling the courses at every point in time. And yeah, this is where our office is in Canary Wharf, Cabot Square in London. And I think that's it, right? So do we have any more questions? If not, please let's appreciate our speakers today. Thank you all for joining. Let's appreciate our speakers. It's not easy. Like I finished my tea here. I need water. So guys, we'll be having sessions like this from time to time. Like I plan to bring more people to speak to us across different areas. So what is the next? What would you like to, what would you like us to? Somebody is asking for us to drop the link to LWB. You mean for Lagos one or London one, Adiola? How much is LWB? The ticket is just £15, and there's even an opportunity to come with a friend. Imagine. Come register for 2 or something. I don't know how much that is right now. Maybe it's £15 for 2. So that is it's supposed to even be off by now. People are asking for LWB tickets London. Please let's drop the link for people to get their tickets for LWB London. I can't wait to see you guys face to face, to be honest. Let's take it, let's take this conversation off camera. I want to have as many illusions in my community as possible, right? So that when I also need you guys, we can all tap into each other. You can come. Like I want you guys to be like, let everybody build sustainable businesses so that we can support each other, sponsor each other. Me, I sponsor local events now. Like if I have people that want to do events, at the same time, we all need to also reciprocate the favor. Okay, so thank you all for joining. I asked again that what would you like us to talk about in another session like this? What would you like what speaker for what area? Should I bring the cinematographer person as well as our alumni that got global talents in 1 month with his cinematography skills. So for self-sponsorship consultancy, you still need to get in touch with Illusions. Illusions renders that as well. So buy is digital product and you can be able to connect. Okay, so for those of you that said yes, what topics would you like us to cover? I plan to bring property, like how to get on the property ladder. You can also use property as an entrepreneurship pathway as well. If you understand it properly, you can register a property business and okay, so you want us to bring global talents and innovator visa. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to also bring another person, another devout LWB attendee and RKY alumni who also got a success story from LWB. This LWB that I'm inviting you to, right? I promise you guys, it's going to be a life-changing event, right? So, and mentorship in tech. Okay, don't worry, that one we got you covered. How to start and scale business in the UK. You've not been attending all my sessions, but don't worry, if you're part of the RKY business community, if you're part of the RKY business community, you definitely have access to 12 months mentorship, business mentorship, as well as, classes already taken by me. How to get on the property ladder. Okay, don't worry. That one, not only, so if you also want to learn about this one, come to LWB. We are talking about investments. Everything you need to know about investments, from property, especially as immigrants, from property, from residential to business as well. Okay, but thank you all for staying to the end of the call. At the end of this call, I still have 9,800 people, which is great. I wish you all a great night ahead. Thank you so much, AY, for coming, for giving us your time. I appreciate it. Illusions link. Can you drop this Illusions link again? But don't worry, just watch out for the mail. If you joined with the Google form, we're going to send his link. And again, go and look for him on socials, Illusions. Just send him a DM. And again, send him a DM. And I'm sure, okay, he has dropped his handle as well. Check his bio. The link is there. The link was also dropped here, but the chat is just, No. Hey, in the absence of any other, thank you very much, RKY. You are a gift to us. Thanks, Jared. T. Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay, they've dropped the link again to Illusions sponsorship. Everything they came to share to you for free, guys, is something you guys are meant to have paid for. So please, let's appreciate him. Love you too, Adela. I look forward to seeing you face to face at LWB.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Lubaba.
Have a nice day. Yeah, Bye. Thank you.